And good morning on this July the 8th day, 2012. The title for today is Obtaining Justice and Resolution in the Matrix. And I wrote a blurb just a very short time ago. I have been so entrenched in creating my legal documents that my mind cannot focus on much else. Some say that we cannot find justice in an unjust world, and there is much evidence from our past that this seems true. Nevertheless, we are in a different place in the evolution of human consciousness, and I am persuaded, without much 3D proof, that this is shifting with support of higher powers coming more and more into play. I do believe that we will find resolution in and for the issues that have adversely affected our rights and our freedoms. I am not under any delusions. The challenge before humanity is immense. The establishment leaders that have been leaders for generations upon generations do not wish to easily relinquish their imagined authority over others. Nevertheless, humans are awakening at a rate never before happening upon this planet, at least not in many, many, many millennia. I don't know if there was ever a golden age like the one that we're going into, and that we're actually creating and is being created through us and by us to some degree. And I say to some degree because it depends on which us you're talking about. Are you talking about just the us that is the human self that has been limited in its awareness and its potentials and its powers? Or are we talking about the us that is awakening and flowering and blossoming and coming more and more and more into its fullness of reclaiming its birthright, reclaiming its natural rights, reclaiming its power, reclaiming I say it's our power, our rights, our birthright. It's our destiny to rise up and to take our proper place in the universe where we are no longer limited beings, living with a limited consciousness, with limited resources, and all sorts of other artificial limitations of debt and other things placed upon us. It is a time of awakening, a time of finding resolution and transforming the old into the new, transmuting all of the negative things that have held us down and worked against our development as human beings. We have been long just nothing but mere children in our awareness. Even with all of our technological advances, we remain ignorant of the fact that there is an interconnectedness of all life, and that interconnectedness is coming more and more into play, as I said, as the higher powers awaken us with things that are happening with the sun and the galaxy itself. I was going to say the solar system, but it's the galaxy, it's even the cosmos itself that is imprinting us with new information, and that's changing the programming. So that as I'm creating these legal documents that I mentioned, there's an excitement that's building. I mean, I lay down to rest and my mind is going and saying, get up and add this, clarify this, change the wording a little bit here. I thought I was done yesterday morning. I thought I was done, Thursday, Friday. I thought I was done with the document. But when I came back from the Republic meeting yesterday afternoon, well, it was actually into the evening because I had my family come and visit a little bit in the afternoon, my daughter and her husband and 3 grandchildren, which was beautiful. I mean, I'm glad that I finally had the chance to see them again after actually a couple of months, I think it's been since I saw them last. So it was really nice to connect with them. But I laid down to rest in the evening after going out with my house guest for supper. And I was hoping to get a half an hour or an hour, just a little rest, because I had a really long day yesterday. But I laid down 5 minutes and I had to get up to the computer and come, and I was being instructed to put something else in. And even this morning when I woke up, I didn't go to the meditation room today. I didn't go out to the atrium. I came to the computer and was working on my document and getting more instructions. So this is where I am right now. It's very rare that I don't go into the meditation room or the atrium and do meditation, although I did lay in bed before I got up. But what was on my mind was was the legal document. So that's where I am this morning. And it's a very strange place to be, because it's not my normal pattern, but it's my pattern in this moment. And I do believe that not just myself, but many people are finding ways to address the courts, ways to address the situation that will ultimately bring not just remedy. They ignore the remedies, but bring actual resolution. And it involves holding these people to their oaths of office, especially in the United States. I don't really know how it is in all of the rest of the world. I know more about the U.S. foundational laws of the Republic than I do about, like in Great Britain and Australia and the other Commonwealth nations, and the non-Commonwealth nations I know even less about, because at least in the British Commonwealth nations, there is the foundation of the Magna Carta. And that is it's not a perfect foundation, but it's a better foundation than the one we've been working on in the current matrix, where all of our rights are taken away and ignored. We are holding these authorities to a higher level of responsibility, and we're holding them to a higher level of accountability. We're saying, look, you people have a public trust, and you are trustees of the public domain, and as such, you cannot keep denying human rights. You cannot be denying civil rights. These are crimes against humanity that you're committing, and you're going to be accountable. Now, the lack, of course, is that there still doesn't seem to be enough muscle, if you will, behind this movement. There doesn't seem to be enough. I mean, they have guns and weapons, and the people that are brainwashed by them think that their job is to obey orders, when in fact their job, with their oath of office in the United States, is to protect the rights of the people. That's what the Constitution and what the oaths of office are all about. It's about protecting the natural rights of people that have been recognized as superior to the government. The government derives its power from the people, but it hasn't been that way for a long time. And as more and more of our rights have been eroded, as our ignorance has been increased, but our ignorance is being reprogrammed, and it's no longer going to be ignorance. We're waking up, folks. This is an exciting time. I want you to feel it. I mean, yes, I feel the anxiety too of what are they going to do? They're not going to like what I'm doing. Oh, well, they're not going to like it, because I'm holding them to a level of truth. And if we cannot establish truth on this planet, there is no hope for us. Truth is what will set us free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's not just an idle saying. That is reality. Truth is what is going to liberate us from all of the lies of the matrix that have been perpetrated upon humanity for far too long. And we have acquiesced and given up our rights by ignorance and by apathy and by an unwillingness to open our minds, and more especially to open our hearts to love everyone, to see the interconnectedness of all life. We've been blinded. We've been blinded. We've been deafened so that we don't hear the cries of humanity. But that's changing. In 2011, it began to change big time, and in 2012, it's changing even more. Although this year we don't maybe see as much as what we saw last year, or it's just simply not being reported. I don't know which is the truth. But in any case, I have the sense and the awareness over this period of time that indeed people are learning how to use the law to our advantage to protect the people. And there are always, I guess there always needs to be the people that go out in front. There were people before me that were doing this before me and paid a tremendously high cost of sometimes even being killed for standing up for truth and for right. But I have the sense that this is a new time, that there's going to be new protections afforded to the people that are willing to step out and go out on a limb and stand up for what is true and what is right and what is really just. And I'm finding myself in that position. I would like to just simply be left alone and not have to mess with it. That's the truth. But they're not leaving me alone. So the universe is thrusting me into this position of having to study the law and having to look at these things and to apply principles that are eternal principles of truth, eternal principles, foundational principles, essential principles of what it means to be human, of what it means to be a sentient being, and to connect with other sentient beings and to work in cooperation instead of competition. But right now there is competition. There's competition between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. And we can't avoid that because it's present. The people in the old paradigm want to keep the old paradigm going. But it can't be. It cannot be. It has to change because it's based on fraud. It's based on lies and deception and coercion and all the negatives that have been applied to the human family by those that have wanted to be the rulers. And yes, they want to rule the world with an iron fist and a combat boot on the human face. That has been their desire. And they don't care about people's feelings or people's rights. They don't care. I know that. I know that. They are psychopaths. They are mad. They are crazy people. And somebody said I shouldn't be calling them the elite because that's not elite. They're stupid people. And their stupidity is blowing up in their faces. It's being revealed. They can't keep stealing from the whole world as they've been doing. And who are they? Again, I want you to understand that they are our shadow. They are the representations of what's in all of us. It's the unknown dark side of us, the dark side of the light chasers. And we need balance. As Aristo says, we've got the polarization of the light and the polarization of the dark. And until they can come into balance with each other and the light allows the dark to come forth, not in a negative, destructive way, but in a way that's recognized and healed. And the people that are on the apparent dark side need to recognize that the light has to be given space in their own beings, or otherwise the polarization is self-destructive because it's out of balance. There's no wholeness in it. And this is what's changing in 2012. We're being introduced to the concept of wholeness, the concept of completing the journey, the concept of reaching a plateau, a level of awareness that allows us to come into our powers and abilities and our gifts in ways that we weren't able to do previously. This is a new time. It's a new age. It's a new paradigm. It's a new heaven and a new earth that are being created, and indeed a new humanity is being birthed as we awaken and as we step into our power once again by reclaiming that which has always been ours, but we forgot. This is where we are in 2012. This is where I am, and it's an exciting time to be alive, even though there's certain apprehensions and anxieties and fears that arise. Nevertheless, the changes are here. They are coming in rapid succession, one after the other, even as these ideas keep coming to me, one after another. Do this, do this, do this. It's a beautiful thing to be awakening. And I want to encourage each of you to hold the faith, brother and sister, because we're going to win this battle, and we're going to dance, and we're going to celebrate, and it will no longer be a battle. once we have achieved what we are set on achieving, that is, obtaining justice and resolution in the matrix, and then the matrix dies, and we have a new matrix. God bless you. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.